evening, and welcome to Yoga for Life. This is our 1 hour yoga practice. So we're going to get started in maybe 2-ish minutes. So hopefully enough time to get your text set up and to get your mat rolled out and kind of find your way into that space. You can use this time just to kind of sit in some quietness for a moment to begin calming the mind. You can invite in little movements, really however you like to start your practice, whatever makes you feel connected, like you're coming into the space and preparing yourself. So still probably another minute or so before we get going. And we're going to begin in child's pose today if you wanted to head that way. If you'd like to incorporate props, you can grab any. I won't be calling any today, but there are a few postures we'll be incorporating that can be nice if you have blocks nearby or even a strap, but I won't be necessarily incorporating them myself. So getting close to time. So if you haven't already, let's make our way to that child's pose, kind of toward the back third of our mat. We'll put the toes near one another, and the knees can go kind of near one another, or you can take them nice and wide to the edges of the mat. And we'll melt down. Let the belly come to rest on the thighs. The forehead can melt toward the mat, or you can make a little pillow here with fists or palms. And again, if you have that block nearby, you could slide it under and use that as a headrest as well. Let yourself sink down a bit. Feel supported by the mat as you let the body relax. Settle the toes. See if you can find a little ease through the feet and the ankles. Maybe the hips sit a little lower. Relax the shoulders. Settle in. Really take that inventory to see how you're feeling today. A moment to connect with the body, to see where you're starting, so that you can honor your body as you move through the practice. As you become more aware of how the body feels today, turn the attention to the breath. Notice your rhythm, the rise and fall of the body. Begin to deepen the breath. Breathe in and out through the nose. You'll feel the belly press into the thighs and the ribs expand. Follow the breath through the body.
match your inhales to your exhales to develop a balanced breath. See if you can keep this steady rhythm. We'll take just a few more moments here. If you'd like to take this time to set an intention for class, I welcome you to do so. Today, I think I'll focus on being steady, to take a little inspo from our breath. But whatever is speaking to your heart, tap into that. Hold on to it. Keep focused here in this moment as we gently lift the head. If you've created that pillow, we'll send the arms out. Keep the gaze down at the mat. Arms are stretched, palms in the mat. Spread the fingers wide here. Start to activate the arms. You might feel this through the shoulders, a nice stretch down the side body. Keep focus on that length through the left side of the body as we walk the hands over to the right. Open up the ribs. Deep stretch from hip to fingertips. Notice if you start to tense up through the shoulders, do relax it down a little. When you're ready, on an exhale, move back to center. Take a breath. And then journey over to the right or to the left, creating that nice stretch down along our right side body. Keep the hips settled. Aware of the breath. Soften with the exhale. On your next exhale, we'll come back to center. Take a breath. On an inhale, we'll rise up and make our way to tabletop. Shoulders over wrist, hips over knees, long spine. Spread the fingers out here. Tops of the feet are down in the mat. Notice if the heart starts to collapse here. If it does, gently draw it back up. A little activation in the shoulders. Focus on the spine. And then begin your cat-cows. Inhale as you lower the belly and lift the gaze. Exhale as you round, arch the back. Inhale, lower and lift. Exhale, round. Draw the gaze into the navel. And continue at your own breath pace for a few rounds. You can hold anywhere that the body needs, or invite in other little movements here, a little wiggle left to right. Mindful of the breath, steady in our movements. And we'll take one more full round before meeting at our neutral spine. From here, we'll shift the weight to the right hand as we flip the left hand over. Fingers are toward the knee, back of the hand in the mat. Aware of the stretch through the wrist, you can keep a bend at the elbow if needed. Don't let the heart collapse, keep it lifted. Gently unwind. You can spin out that wrist and then plant the left hand back down. When you're ready, shift the weight to the left, flip the right hand. Same stretch, opposite side. Really mindful here. Keep the breath steady. Don't put too much weight back onto the right side. Unwind, give that wrist a spin, nice little stretch. We'll be at our neutral tabletop. Draw the navel in, core is strong as we step the right toes back. We'll plant them in the mat and gently press back through the heel. A nice stretch for the calf. You could rock a little forward and backward here if you like, loosening up the foot, the ankle. Find neutral. Strong core as we lift the back foot. So right foot flies, press through the heel. Try to keep the hips square to the mat. Nice challenge for our back work. On an exhale, bring the right knee down, reset, and then step the left foot back. Balancing out the sides. Check in from the hip out through the heel. You could take that rock if you like. Embrace the creaks or cracks if they happen. There we go. Reset, strong foundation. Fly the left foot. Dial the toes down toward the mat. Long line. Check in with the back body, your foundation, and the breath. We'll lower the left knee down, back to our neutral. Strong start. We'll fly the right foot. Keep the core strong as we lift the left hand. Reach the fingers forward, bicep near the ears, our balanced tabletop. You can lower a hand or a knee anytime you need to. Gaze remains at the mat. Take a nice inhale to reach. Exhale as you lower hand and knee. Nice work. Find your neutral. Fly the left foot. That leg is strong as we draw the right arm up. Notice the subtle difference between the two sides. You might feel stronger in one base than the other. Throughout our practice, as we move from side to side, we help balance out a little bit, build awareness, and just tune in a bit. Nice inhale to reach. Exhale as you lower hand and knee. We'll keep the hips high over the knees as we slide the hands forward. Melt the heart down toward the mat. Big puppy pose. Stretching out that front midline. Big stretch through the shoulders. If this is too much on the shoulders, you can come to forearms. You can relieve a little bit of that pressure from the wrists or the shoulders. Take one more breath here. Start to slide the hands in. Return to that tabletop. Our neutral spot. Fly the right leg. Scoop the belly as you bring the right foot forward. Low lunge. So we'll take a moment here. Check that bone stack. Right knee over right ankle. Maybe even a little behind it. We've got a little space between the two legs, so we're giving ourselves a sturdy foundation. Settle in. Let the hips release a bit. You can curl the left toes if that feels better for your knee or makes you feel more balanced. Lengthen the spine. Maybe you draw the gaze forward a bit. Maybe it lands a few feet in front of the mat. If you have blocks in your practice today, you could set them there and lift up a bit. So lots of variations here as we create a deep stretch through the front of the left leg and in the hips. When you're ready, we'll gently shift the hips backward. Rotate onto the heel of the right foot as you find a hamstring stretch. You can keep a generous bend in the right knee if needed. Only sit the hips back as far as your body wants to go. A little tension is all right. But if at any point in any of our shapes you feel acute pain somewhere, just gently back out. We want to do no harm so we can practice yoga another day. Start to walk the hands forward. Plant the right foot back on the mat. Low lunge. We'll bring the right hand inside the right foot and gently heel toe it to the edge of the mat. Staying at about 45. Our lizard lunge. So a deeper stretch for the hips here. If your legs are a little longer, if you're tall, that foot may journey all the way off the mat. If your legs are a little shorter, that foot might be more on the mat. Really check in here. I need to stay lifted, but if your hips are feeling ooey gooey today, you can melt down here a little bit, going on to forearms. Relax the hips, the low back. Find that steady breath. next exhale, start to heel toe that foot back to its starting place. One hand on each side will curl the left toes. Lift that knee, runner's lunge. Keep the spine long. Feel the activation in the left leg. Create a foundation in the hands as you step the right foot back. High plank. You can lower to the knees here if you like. We'll take one breath. Lower both knees. Uncurl the toes. Hips to heels. Child's pose. 2 breaths here. Inhale up, back to tabletop. Strong base. Fly the left leg. With control, bring it forward. Make your way to that low lunge. Give yourself a moment here. You don't have to go right into it. Really feel it out. Check that bone stack. Find that nice stable spot. Check in with the right knee. And give the belly a little space here, a little wiggle about. And then gently settle in. Again, if you have blocks, you can incorporate them. Each exhale helps you relax in. Notice if the mind begins to wander away from the mat. It starts drawing in the worries of the day or the to-do list. And if it does, that's all right. Just give it a little check. Set those things aside and bring yourself back to the mat. Connect with the experience of the body, the flow of the breath. Begin to shift the hips. Make your way to that hamstring stretch. Each side a little different. Take your time. Find your edge. If you're wanting to add a little bit to this stretch, you could gently dial the toes toward the body. This can add a bit of a stretch through the calf. Start to walk the hands forward. Low lunge. Bring the left hand inside that foot and make your way to lizard lunge, opening the hips a bit. Keep a foundation. You can melt down if that's in your practice. Draw awareness to the hips. Notice how they connect out into the body. Heel toe that foot back to its start. Frame it with the hands. Curl the right toes. Lift off that knee. Runner's lunge. We'll take a breath here. Energy flowing through the right leg. Muscles engaged as we plant into the hands. Step the left toes back. High plank for one breath. Lower the knees, uncurl the toes, hips to heels, child's pose. 2 breaths here. Inhale up, back to tabletop. Set your base, fly the right foot. Scoop the belly as you bring it forward. Find a foundation through both the right foot, the left leg as you inhale up. Warrior one in low lunge. Settle the shoulders, let the palms shine toward one another. Little lift of the heart, and maybe invite in a smile here. A variation on our victorious posture. On an exhale, we'll lower the hands, plant the left hand in the mat, line it up with that back leg. And then draw the right fingers up. Nice twist. Right hip crease dials down and back. See if you can find that open heart as we take a nice big inhale. And then exhale back down. Plant the hands, curl the left toes, lift the left leg, runner's lunge. Find that foundation as you step the right toes back, high plank. We'll keep the elbows tight to the body as we lower down through chaturanga to the belly. Uncurl the toes. Inhale up to baby cobra. If your back is feeling up to it, you could lift higher. Exhale as we release. We'll press up to tabletop and reset. Find your neutral, shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Take a breath. Flatten the left leg. Scoop the belly as you bring it forward. Take a moment here in your low lunge. Find your foundation, that steady place. With control, we'll inhale up. Take a moment to reconnect with that intention that you set for class. Tap into the heart space. And keep a little softness in the arms here. On an exhale, lower the hands, plant the right palm in the mat, draw the left hand up. Invite that twist in on the opposite side. Try to reach through the left fingers. A nice way to help us not collapse into that supporting shoulder. And if the arm doesn't want to reach all the way up, you can just go to the side wall or somewhere in between. Nice inhale to reach. Exhale as we lower. Plant both hands, curl the right toes, lift that knee, step the left foot back. High plank, take a breath. Lower down. Uncurl the toes, inhale up to your cobra. Maybe you grow a little bit. Feel that stretch through the front midline. On an exhale, release. Push up to tabletop. Reset. Fly the right foot. And instead of scooping the belly and bringing it through the center, this time we'll kind of swing it around and try a different approach. So we're still ending up in our low lunge, just taking the leg out and around. Take a breath. Curl the left toes. Lift that knee, runner's lunge. Plant the left hand down, draw the right fingers up. Twist through your torso. Keep the hips sitting low. Breath remains steady. Exhale the right hand down. Plant the back foot at about 45. Bend the right knee as we press up. Warrior one. As we get set here, you may need to make little adjustments. You can drop the arms. Find that footing if you need to, squaring the hips up. Both feet are rooted into the mat. We'll open up, rotate the back foot to 90. Arms come down, shoulder height, palms toward the mat. Warrior two. Keep the right knee in line with the right toes. Open heart. And keep a little softness in the arms if needed. Nice and smooth. We're gonna windmill the right or left arm up and over as we rotate on to the ball of the left foot. Lower the hands to the mat. Foundation. Step the right toes back. We find our high plank. Nice work. Lower down. Inhale up. We're going to take a breath here. Then exhale down. Push up to tabletop and reset. From your neutral, fly the left foot. Draw that leg around as you come into low lunge, just playing with different approaches. One may feel better for you than the other, and that way you know which you prefer and you can incorporate that in. Curl the right toes, lift off of that knee, our runner's lunge. Spine is long, hips sit low, right palm goes into the mat. Draw the left fingers up. Maybe the gaze follows the extended hand, but it doesn't have to. It could stay at the sidewall or even down at the mat. On an exhale, bring the left hand to the mat. Plant the right foot at 45. Start to build your base. As as you lift up to warrior one. You can keep a little softness in the right knee. The weight evenly distributed between the feet. We're not really leaning forward or backward here. Try to stay really centered, steady in your stance, shining your heart. One more breath here. Start to open to the right side. Back foot goes to 90. You may need to heel toe it back a bit to extend the stance. Double check that bone stack on the left side. Knee over ankle or behind it. One hand forward, one behind. Open heart. Strong and stable in your warrior two. Focused forward. Keep that focus, that stability as we windmill the right arm forward. Come on to the ball of the right foot. Lower the hands. Foundation is built, so we'll step the left toes back, high plank, lower down. Inhale up to your cobra. Take a breath. Next exhale, we release down. We'll go hips to heels, child's pose. Check in with the breath. Notice the subtle heat that you're cultivating through the body. On an inhale, we'll come back up to tabletop. Find your neutral. Take one hand forward and then the other one, extending your stance a bit as you curl the toes. Start to grip the mat with the hands, press away from the mat. Strong arms as we lift the hips and find down dog. Try to find a flat back. That may mean a generous bend at the knees. The heels may touch or they may not. Root into the left toes as you draw the right toes up, three-legged dog. We'll bring the right foot forward, plant it toward the front of the mat, drop the back foot to 45, lift up to warrior one. Open to warrior two. Take your time here. Settle in. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Release the hands, straighten the front leg. Heel toe the back foot in just a bit. We want about one leg length distance between the feet. Arms returned. Start to reach forward as you draw the left hip back. Windmill over. Right hand can find shin or thigh or float inside the leg. Left hand reaches to the sky. Continue to breathe. Inhale, we'll rise up. Exhale as we release the arms. Turn the right toes toward the long edge of the mat. Nice wide ankle stance. We'll bring hands to hips as we lengthen the spine. Lead with the heart as we hinge forward. When you can't keep that flat back anymore, go ahead and release down, hands finding their way to the mat. Wide angle, forward fold. Hands can stay on the mat under our shoulders, or you could hold on to ankles or feet. Notice if the weight is sitting back in your heels, and if it is, gently shift the hips forward. Not so much that you topple over, but so that the weight is sitting in the front half of each foot. A nice stretch through the back of the legs. We'll start to engage the core as we inhale up to half lift, and then rise all the way up. Turn the right toes toward the short edge of the mat. And then here's our challenge. Start to bend the right knee. Rotate onto the ball of the left foot. Nice. Bring the hands to the mat. Build your foundation and step the right toes back. Lower down. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale to down dog. Grip the mat with the hands, root into the right toes as you draw the left foot up and forward. Find your foundation, nice and steady as we drop the back foot. Inhale up, warrior one. Keep holding your warrior one. I'm just going to rotate around so I can match you guys as we transition. On your next exhale, open. Make your way to that warrior two. Check that the left knee is staying lined up with the toes. Sometimes it wants to fall in. Engage the inner thigh. Keep it open. Drop the hands, straighten the front leg, heel toe the back foot in. Heel is lined up with heel. Draw the arms back up. Start to reach forward like you're poking a wall in front of you, and a string pulls the right hip back. Flip the palms toward the side wall and windmill over. Feel that little rotation through the ribs. Try to keep the body on one plane here. If blocks are in your practice, you could bring one close to this foot and use it to place the hand on. On an inhale, lift up. Exhale the hands down. Turn the left toes to the long edge of the mat. Find that wide ankle stance. Hands to hips, lead with the heart. Really hinge forward as you make your way to that wide angle forward fold. Relax the shoulders. Relax the back. If the head is hitting the earth, heel toe the feet in a little bit. Give yourself a little extra space. On your next inhale, we'll engage the core, come up to half lift, and then all the way up to standing. We'll take a breath at the top. Turn the left toes to the short edge of the mat. Find that bend in the knee. Nice and controlled. We'll rotate onto the ball of the right foot. Bring the hands to the mat. Step the left toes back, high plank, lower down. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale to down dog. Gonna spin around to meet you guys there. Find a little wave in the body as you lift the heels, shift the hips, high plank, lower down. Uncurl the toes. Inhale up to your cobra. If it's in your practice, you could head to up dog. On an exhale, release. Press hips to heels, child's pose. Belly to thighs. Find a little relaxation for the arms. You could bend at the elbows, maybe returning to that pillow from the beginning of our practice. As we take a few rounds of breath here. Returning to the mat. Feel that foundation. Breath remains steady. Mind remains focused. Start to lift up, bringing hands toward the knees, rotate onto a hip. We'll take the legs forward and then journey all the way down onto back body. Head rests on the mat, shoulders connect down, low back. Feet are on the mat, a nice bend at the knees as we take a breath. And then draw both knees into the chest. So very similar to our child's pose. Just instead of the legs resting on the mat, the back body now is. You can hold here in stillness. You could rock a little side to side if you like. That might feel good on the low back, maybe even on the shoulders. Rocking, slow it down. We'll meet at stillness. Give the legs a little squeeze and then send them up to 90. The left hand goes to right knee as we guide the legs over. Maybe shift the hips a bit to stack right over left and come into our supine twist. Left hand can stay resting on the legs here, or you could extend the arms out to a T. Relax the hips. Open the heart.
The heels can tuck up toward the body or be extended as far away from you as you like. Drop the gaze over the right shoulder, finding your full expression of the posture today. On an inhale, bring the gaze back to center. Nice and controlled. We'll rotate the legs back. Bring the feet to the mat as you reset that long spine. Our nice neutral start. We'll draw the knees in, give them a squeeze, send them up to 90. Right hand to left knee. Guide the legs over. Make any little adjustments you need to here. Left leg rest on the right. Hips stack. Feel that twist through the torso as the heart opens. The left shoulder may connect down to the mat or it may not. Each day in our practice is a little different. Soften the body. Let go of that surface level tension. And then drop the gaze to the left. Continue to relax the legs. Continue to breathe. On an inhale, return the gaze to center. Lift the legs. Square the body back up. Coming out of our twist, we'll draw both knees into the chest. Give them a nice squeeze and send the heels up, extending the legs toward the sky. The little legs up the wall. You can start to relax the feet here a bit. The legs shake, that's okay. They've done an excellent job supporting us today. Drop the hands to the mat, palms up, arms at side body. And with control, we'll lower both legs down. You can keep them straight for this, or you could bend and bring feet to the mat. Slide them away, whatever works for you, to end up with the legs long on the mat, creating a little space between them, moving the arms away from the body as we come into our full Shavasana. In Shavasana, there's no greater place to physically grow the posture. It's an opportunity to simply enjoy being, to sit with ourselves for a moment. Notice the support of the mat, how stable you feel, resting here in this moment, exactly as you are supposed to be. The next few moments, all is well as you soak in the practice, quieting the mind, as you settle the body. Let the feet relax,
And the ankles loosen. Feel the heaviness of the legs, muscles relaxed. Soften the hips and the glutes and the low back. The arms at ease. No tension in the hands. Let the weight lift off of your shoulders as they slouch down. Upper body relaxing, melting deeper down. Allow the breath to return to your natural rhythm. Let go of any tension that you're holding in the neck or the jaw. Soften the gaze or close the eyes completely as you unfurrow the brow. Find peace. Holding compassion for yourself for whatever bubbles up here. Allow yourself to be open to it, to hold space for yourself as you've held space for so many others. Fully present. We'll take the next few moments in silence for ourselves. I'll let you know when it's time to come up. Stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. If you're ready, we'll start to wiggle the toes. Maybe brush the fingertips with the thumb. To notice that sense of touch. Taking a big breath in. Big exhale out. As you grow these movements a little larger, we'll start to work the legs in. Maybe taking that full body hug if that speaks to you, or rotating over to a favorite side as we rest the head. And wherever you land, take a moment to thank the body for all that it has done for you today and all that it does for you every day.
Offer the body support as you gently lift up.
Fluttering the eyes to let the light back in. Coming back into our space. We'll bring hands together at heart center to seal in our practice. I encourage you to take kind thoughts, kind words, and kind intentions with you from now until we meet again. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for our practice this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a really wonderful week, and I'll see you back on the mat next Monday. Bye, everyone.